Hey, what's going on, guys? So today I want to show you guys a little bit of a light enhancement effect. Very straightforward, but also flexible. Now, if you've been watching the channel recently, you know that I've been playing a lot with Boris FX optics, and it's super cool for lighting effects, among other things. But sometimes you just need tried and true Photoshop techniques to enhance a little bit of a lighting effect. And like I said, I'm going to show you how to keep it flexible so you can adapt it while you're finishing your shot. Now, in truth, this is a final shot, as is my way. But let's say, for example, the light behind her, okay, was, and this is a parking garage, right? So it's a lot brighter behind her. And there's a little bit of a rim light all around her, going across her body and her leg and the other side of her leg. There's light behind her coming at me, but it doesn't quite have the atmospheric look that I was hoping for, right? It's not like it's bad, but I want to enhance it a little bit, perhaps. And so here's one thought that you can go about doing it. And again, my idea is to make things flexible. And we're not even going to use, smart objects or anything like that, smart filters. We can do that, don't get me wrong, but I'm going to show you a different method. So I need a glow, right? I happen to have a black and white image, so I don't have to worry about toning any glows. It's just going to be white. So we're going to go with that. So what do? A solid color white. Okay, we will get going with that in a minute. We're going to call that glow. Okay. We're going to go ahead and invert the mask on that because we don't need it just yet. Second, now I need a mask of her and this column right here. So I'm going to use a combination of what Photoshop can do for me, which is a subject selection, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and quickly add to the selection with the marquee tool, hold down shift, and I can add to the selection roughly there. You notice that I'm not being super accurate because this is going to be a bit of a glow, so I don't need it to be extremely accurate. Now, with that selection running, I'm going to go back up to my solid color layer and immediately group it. Command or Control G. We talked about, grouping a single layer in recent videos for a reason, right? This is another cool way. So we're going to call this flare effects. There you go. And then we're going to mask that. Boom. Okay, but we don't want to show everything through her and the column. We want the opposite, right? So Command and Control I. Let's review what we have. We have this masked out, right? And then we have a white solid color with a mask completely blacked out. So what do? Let's build our situation. All right, so we can do a couple of things. We can take a circle, for example, a circle elliptical tool, and create a glow right here. And we invert that and we have a glow. You can see the basics of where we're going with this, right? Now, another option we can do, keep in mind, if you want something made a little more organic feeling or just a little more loose, you can definitely take a paintbrush. It does not have to be a soft paintbrush, and you can just kind of paint a general shape in white. There we go. A general shape of where you think a glow should go. There we go. All right, so we have everything in place. Super accuracy, not a problem, because again, we're going to blur everything. And again, we could do it like I told you with the raster layers and smart objects and smart filters. We're not doing that right now. We're going to go to the layer mask properties. And if you don't have properties open, go to Window, Properties. Make sure you're selected on the mask, okay? And we have feather. So first things first, we're going to feather the glow. We have to feather it quite a bit, okay? Something like that, okay? Now, we have a hard line around her. So there's no glow. We're getting the effect we want in the background, but it's not glowing around her. You can probably guess what we have to do next, huh? We go to the mask of the folder, of the layer folder that we grouped the single solid color layer in, and we feather that. We probably have to feather it pretty good, because if not, we'll see a weird fringe, right? Something like that. Let's see what we got so far. I went from this to this. We can also go back to our solid color layer and play with different blend modes. Let's see what soft light looks like. Not bad. And here's what's cool. I didn't, even though if you look at the mask right now, this is the one on the group, it looks blurred. If you ran a blur on this or did it roughly with a paintbrush, it'd be permanent. But with feathering on the layer mask, we can change that arbitrarily whenever we feel like it. Same thing with this, with our mask. We painted that in, but we painted it with a hard brush, so we can choose how soft we want that glow to be at any given moment, right? So right now it's extremely subtle. Let's try overlay. That's a little stronger. Okay. And of course, sometimes just normal works as well, right? Oops. Sometimes normal just works. So that's a nice glow. It's a little strong. Okay. On normal. I don't necessarily hate it, but I think I'm going to go with overlay. That creates a nice glow. And here again, I'm flexible. I can I can try it any different way. And since I have a mask within a mask, I don't have to rebuild the mask that blocks her and the column. I just can work with this. I can start over. I don't like where my glow is. I'm going to replace it. So I'm going to come in with a brush and with a white brush, and I'm going to change the glow. Now, all the other settings are the same, right? So in real time, I can paint in this glow wherever I think might be good. See, still don't like that? You can change the blurring. You can turn on and off and determine if it's too strong. Obviously, opacity you can do. But again, we have that flexibility. And, you know, in this shot, we're masking her and the column out because she's in the foreground. Now, sometimes on backlit shots, you only have to mask the subject out, and that's fine. And other times you have light coming from the side, you know, like a lateral kind of flare, and that's cool, and you may not need to mask anything. But in this case, when I'm masking a situation and I don't know how I want the glow to look, I want flexibility. So because of that, that's what I like. And again, I got a hard brush right now, hard edge brush, and I've got everything set up, but I can just blur, paint in exactly where I want, and it'll create the glow behind her and the perimeter glow around her because of that mask. So mask within a mask, for a very smart way. Again, it's not just, you could do this permanently, but you have to commit to everything up front and hope. Well, I didn't know exactly where I wanted that glow, so I like the flexibility, and I can just dial it in any way I want. So that's a quick thought there for you. So keeping it simple sometimes is the way to go, even though, you know, Boris effects is super cool. Like I said, I've talked about it before, and I'll talk about it again. I love optics, but every now and then you need the simplest of glow to really bring a shot, give it some depth and some drama. And this is exactly how I go about doing it. But again, like all things, I like to be flexible, so I like to make things in a way that I can adjust as I work.